Hi guys, it's Miss Tara here. Today we're learning to count to 20, to compare groups of objects and identify which group has more, and to recognise numerals to 20. So what I'm looking for is you using a strategy to keep your counting organised. So lining up your objects and pointing to them, or moving them across the table as you count. Counting each object once, you using the last number counted as how many, you finding or writing the numeral to demonstrate how many a group has, and you identifying the bigger number as representing more. Things we can use to count at home. You can use anything to count at home, but here are some examples. Socks, shoes, hats, or coats. You can collect bottle lids or yogurt tops. You can sort them into colours and then compare, for example, how many red lids and how many blue lids. You can count Duplo and Lego blocks, again sorting by their colour. You can go on a nature hunt outside and collect leaves, rocks and sticks. Then you can count and compare them. You can make some Play-Doh. You could make 2 different colours and then roll it into balls to use. How many blue balls did you make? And how many red balls did you make? Which group has more? Count how many teaspoons you have and how many dessert spoons. Which group has more? Okay, let's practice comparing some numbers. Which number is bigger and therefore worth more? 4 or 7? So if you look at your number line there, where is 4 and where is 7? Can you point to them? Which number is bigger and worth more? 11 or 8? Okay, finding 11 and finding 8. Which number is bigger? Which number is worth more? 5 or 15? So find number 5 and then find number 15. Which is the bigger number and therefore worth more? 17 or 13? So find 17 and then find 13. Which is the bigger number that's worth more? 3 or 5? Where's 3? And where's 5? Which is the bigger number? Which is worth more? 6 or 2? Find 6. Now find 2. Which is bigger? Which is worth more? 14 or 19? So find 14 and find 19. Which is the bigger number? Which is worth more? 20 or 10? 20, 10. Which is the bigger number? Which is worth more? Okay, let's check our answers. Yes, 7 is the bigger number. It is worth more than 4. 11 is the bigger number. It is worth more than 8. 15 is the bigger number. It is worth more than 5. 17 is the bigger number. It is worth more than 13. 5 is the bigger number. It's worth more than 3. 6 is the bigger number. It's worth more than 2. 19 is the bigger number. It's worth more than 14. And 20 is the bigger number. It's worth more than 10. Okay, now it's time to do some counting at home. So first you can watch the video of me doing some counting and comparing at home. Then it's your turn. Okay, so the videos that I have done are counting objects up to 10, but don't be limited by that. You can find more objects and you can count up to 20 or even more than 20. Okay, so The videos are up to 10, and that's just showing you an example, but don't be limited by numbers to 10. If you're learning about numbers to 20 or bigger numbers than 20, find more objects to count. Have fun!
Hi guys, it's Miss Tara here. We're going to do some counting and comparing in a minute, but first of all I want to show you some different things to help us when we count that your teacher might have given you or that you might be able to find or make up at home. So first of all, you might have a hundreds chart that looks like that to help you count, or you might have some flashcards of numbers there that you can put in the right order from 1 to 10 or higher if you're counting higher numbers. You might have a number line that looks like that, or you might be able to make up your own. So here I've just got a pen and some paper and I've written my numbers up to 10. And here what I've done is I've looked through some catalogues that come in the mail and I've found some numbers and I've just glued them in the right order from 1 to 10 on a piece of paper. So those are some things that you might use to help you. Okay guys, here I've got some cars and some trains. So what I want to do first is I need to sort my cars and trains into two groups. One group of cars and one group of trains. So I'll do that now. So I'll put my cars over here, like that. All my cars are together, and then all my trains here I'm going to group together over here. So now I've got two groups, a group of cars and a group of trains. Now what I want to do is I want to count and see how many cars I've got, and then I want to count and see how many trains I've got. Okay, so what I'm going to do to help me keep track of how many trains and how many cars I've got, I've actually written myself up a number line for my trains and then a number line for my cars. So when I've counted how many trains, I'm going to circle the last number that I've counted because that will be how many trains I've got. Okay, so I'm going to count my trains first. So what I need to do is I need to line my trains up to make it easier for me to keep track of my counting. I'm just going to line them up like this. Okay. Alright, and I'm going to point to each train with my finger as I count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the last number I said was 5. So when I look at my number line that I've made over here, I need to find 5 and circle it. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5. I'll circle 5. I've got 5 trains. Okay, now I'm going to count my cars. So remember, the first thing we had to do was to line up our cars to help stay organised when we count, because we don't want to count one car 2 times, do we? We need to count each object once, and we don't want to miss any either. Okay, so when we line things up, it helps us stay on track. So let's start and count. We'll point to each car as we say a number. We're starting at 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so the last number I said was 8. Now I need to go over to my number line that I've made and find the number 8 to circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8. Get my pen and I'm going to circle. Okay, so I've circled the number 8 for how many cars I've got. So I had 5 trains and I have 8 cars, okay? So now I've got to figure out which is the bigger number, because the bigger number will be the group that has more. So what's the bigger number? 5 or 8? Yep, so 8's the bigger number. Okay, so we actually have more cars than we have trains. Okay guys, this time I've got some orange blocks and some green blocks. So the first thing I need to do is to sort them into 2 groups. One group of orange blocks and another group of green blocks, okay? I'm going to move my orange blocks over here. Yep, there's my orange blocks. And then my green blocks here. Okay, so I've sorted my objects into a group of orange blocks and a group of green blocks. Okay, this time when I count, I'm going to line up my orange blocks along here, then I'm going to line my green blocks up alongside them to help us compare that way. Okay, so I'm going to line up my orange blocks first. Like that. There we go. Now I'm going to line up my green blocks. I'm placing each green block next to an orange block. Okay, so I've got my orange blocks lined up here, and I've got my green blocks lined up here, and over here I've chosen these number lines, the ones that I cut out and put together, and the one that I drew, that I wrote. Okay, so they're the ones I'm going to use. Okay, so if you just have a look, I'm wondering, before we count, can we guess which group do you think has more? The orange blocks or the green blocks? And how do you know? Do you think the green blocks might have more? How about we count and check? Okay, so first of all, I'm going to count the green blocks. Remember, we point to each block as we count for each number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 was the last number that we said, so that's how many green blocks there are. Okay, so now I'm going to write over here on my number line, I'm going to circle 9, and I'm going to write up here green blocks. Okay, so that way I'll remember I had 9 green blocks. Now let's count the orange blocks. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is the last number I said, so that's how many orange blocks. We've got 6 orange blocks. So over here, I'm going to find the number 6. Can you guys see the number 6? There it is. Circle the number 6. So I had 6 orange blocks. Okay. So we had 9 green blocks and 6 orange blocks. Do you remember what our guess was? Which group did we think had more? We thought the green group had more, didn't we? Okay, and when we counted and checked, which group has the bigger number? Yep, the green blocks with 9 has the bigger number, so that means we have more green blocks than we do orange blocks. Okay guys, this time I'm going to see if I can trick you. Alright, so this time we're going to be comparing how many little people socks we have and how many big people socks we have. And what I've got here is I've got some number flashcards, but I've got them all jumbled up. So what we need to do first is we need to line our numbers up in the right order from 1 to 10. So let's do that first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, might need to move them over a bit. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so there we've got our numbers lined up, ready to compare. Okay, so we've got a big jumble of socks here. First we need to sort them into big people socks and little people socks. Okay, let's do little people socks first. We'll line them up, ready to count. Okay, so there we go. There's our little people socks, and then we'll put the big people socks underneath. Line them up. Some more space there. Okay. Get all ready to count up. Alright. There's our socks. What I might do is I might put our numerals, our numbers, over and line them up with the socks as well. Ready to start counting. I wonder how many little people socks will we have when we count? And will we have more little people socks or more big people? Does anyone want to have a guess of how many little people socks we have and how many big people socks? Okay, let's count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 7 little people socks. Is that what your guess was? Now let's count the big people socks. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 big people socks. So which number is bigger, 4 or 7? Yep, so 7 is the bigger number. So we had 7 little people socks. So that means we have more little people socks. Good job. Okay guys, this time we're going to count and compare how many forks we have and how many spoons we have. Okay, so first I need to sort them into groups. 1 group of spoons and 1 group of forks. Remember, I line them up to make it easier to count. Then I put my forks underneath like that. Okay, so what's your guess? What group has more, do you think? Let's count and check. Okay, let's count the spoons first. 1, 2. We've got 2 spoons. Okay, so let's write this down this time. Okay, so I'm going to write 2 spoons. Okay, now let's count our forks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 forks. So let's write that down. 4 forks. Okay, so which number is bigger, 2 or 4? Yep, 4 is the bigger number, so that means we have more forks than we do spoons. Was that what you thought? Well done.